Right.
Yeah.
3-0 to City, and the truth is United was simply not good enough. Yes, we had moments. Yes, we created chances, but in the derby, moments don't matter. If you don't show fight, City were ruthless, powerful, and clinical. We were weak in duels, wasteful with the ball, and lacked the anger, the fixture demands. Sesko was isolated. Bruno wasted out of position. Shaw struggled badly. United need fire, aggression, and consistency. Otherwise, we'll keep seeing results like this. Chelsea up next, and it has to be better. Boys, lack of sleep. I've got a bit of touch of the flu. I need some sleep big time. How you been? How was your day? Let's go through it.
Shit.
Yeah. Pod's finished now, right? Yeah.
Jordan, you've had a lot to say today to me. Start us off.
Not much good, is there? We had good spells in the game for 10, 15 minutes at best. Maybe 5 minutes if we're being generous with some things. And Buemo had a rocket of a volley that Donnarumma tipped around the post, which was a good save. That was a great save. But I feel like we started to go forward too late in the game. Luke Shaw, to be honest, looked like he was playing a completely different sport to everyone else on the field. At one point, I actually didn't know if he was out there to play soccer or fucking netball. I don't know. It was just one of those. Nothing
Look, we started off all right, though. I think we started well. What do you think, Yanni? Start us from the start of the game. What did you think at the start? First 20 minutes leading into the goal.
Like I was saying in the chat before, I actually thought the first half we were pretty good. Yes, City had a couple of attempts here and there, but we actually controlled it a bit more, in my opinion. Even with it, but despite all of that, nothing really happened. We had control and this and that, whatever, but we didn't really push hard, and then we conceded the goal. But we still were in the game after conceding the goal as well. It's not like we were suddenly heads down and this and that. But for some reason, second half capitulated. And you look at the stats, and the stats actually tell you that the second half we had so many attempts and this and that, and but the eye test actually showed you that we were really, really poor in that second half, and we only got those attempts because we were already 3-0 down and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was fun. No urgency, again. And I think I saw a stat that this is, I think, the first Manchester derby without any yellow cards.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's sad.
Was that for both teams, or was that just United?
Both teams.
That's disgraceful, isn't it? That
Mate,
is
they were winning 3-0. They don't need to foul us.
I understand that.
It's not even that though. It's a derby. A derby on a wet field.
Yeah.
Get fired up. Get fired up.
I mean, for a late
what are they saying to each other in the dressing rooms before going out to a game?
But while I agree to a degree, nowadays, you know how you say get into it, have a good tackle. You do that, you get a yellow or a red because VAR intervenes, and then you're down a person, and then we'd be complaining, why did you make that tackle? Nowadays, the game is so pacified that you can't really get into it the same way you would even 5 years ago, let alone back in the good days. So I mean, there is
still a derby though.
It's easy to say it's still a derby.
I think referees would let a little bit go in the first, say, 15.
You know who these referees are? We had what's his name, right? We were talking about this on Friday. Very, very red card, trigger happy referee. So, do you really want to risk it?
Look, when it came to that first goal, Elliot, there was 4 players. We spoke about it pre-game. The one person I did speak about was Deco. Deco, is that his name? He was Deco, yeah.
Deco was a great player back in the day too,
Yeah, He was the one I pointed out. I said, even though we beat him last time, he was ripping us apart on the left-hand side. But Guardiola brought him in on the right-hand side this time. And he absolutely just ripped us to shreds. It's like there was 4 players around him before he got in between everyone. And like, I know everyone's out there blaming Bruno because he never followed the player. But if you have a look just on that, I've seen the goal again. I've got the game going while I'm talking on this. If you have a look at there, Ahmed went to give chase and he just pulled up stumps on him. Now, if that was Rashford, holy shit, man. He'd be absolutely outed again. Like, it's just such double standards by our fans. It's an absolute joke.
I thought I was just on the field, if I'm being honest.
You see the build up to that goal in that little triangle in that pocket in that pocket of just before our there. The players are not there marking there. They're not on their toes. They're flat footed, and you know you talk about. We were okay in that first period of the game, but still, those are just simple principles that you need to get right. And yes, Doku's a quality player, and in that moment he was playing right side, but he was all across our front line. Throughout the whole 90 minutes, Pep used him to tear us apart, basically in different parts of the field because he gave. This is probably one of the worst games I've seen Yoro play for a while. He just couldn't get hold of him. Couldn't get hold of him that whole game, and then Amrin ended up bringing him off.
So you're pretty good.
It's just those little 1-2 pockets and stuff, and you're not picking up your man, and just bang bang, you're around it. You get around Luke Shaw, which isn't hard. If he was like he was like backing a recycling truck up. Just couldn't turn, and then Doku's in behind him, and Foden's all Foden's done is floated it into the players. He's free and decent header, and the keeper he's not got a chance of saving that.
Look, it just shows how desperate we are for Martinez to come back. I think. Look, as much as Luke Shaw he's still playing for England. Like, for God's sakes, man, but. Geez, he was horrific, man. He was so bad in that game.
It's a shame because he's played all right this year. I thought Shaw's been okay this year. He's been okay.
Man City were just really good at isolating in 1v1 situations. Their front three, like even Bernardo Silva when he was on the right, he stayed very high, and Foden played as a 10 in the pocket. So what it allowed for was Doku to be one-on-one pretty much every time on the break. Haaland was one-on-one every time on the break. And when Doku finally started, like that goal where he slid it in for Haaland and Haaland just puts his arm out and fucking nearly pushes Luke Shaw into the fucking grandstand, he was that shit. And then that type of play, but you're isolating in a 2v2 situation with 2 players that are both quicker than the 2 players you've got with spacing behind. You're never going to win that. All it is angles. They don't get the angle right. The ball's in behind. Haaland's through. He's going to score. But
I think one thing that about having Shaw in is that he's not as much of a leader as Martinez would be, and I think we really need that leadership. Like, I think Delete has it, I think Maguire has it, but you can't play the 2 of them together. And Yoro is still a bit too young to be that leader, so you're only having one leader in the back when you're playing that back 3. So you definitely need that. Like, Martinez would be quite beneficial there. Varane, obviously, retired. He would have been good in this kind of situation. But, yeah.
Do you know how long Martinez is out for still?
I think he was even... Well, he's been training. I don't even remember if... Was he on the bench?
I don't think he was on the bench.
He could feature on the bench against Chelsea. He's... Yeah, positive chats around him. So, you can hope, I guess. But even so, with the team that we've got, we fielded a decent 11. City have got a lot of injuries.
The wrong 11.
Yeah. The decent 11.
We spoke about the midfield on Friday, and we felt that it needed the 2 defensive midfielders, or like at least like that balance of Mainu and Ugarte, or Mainu Casemiro, or Casemiro Mainu. We should have never had Bruno in that role for this game. Like, it just makes no sense.
Well, it was with the injuries that we had leading up to the game. I thought it would have forced the manager to play Bruno higher, but he still didn't. He still didn't. But he played him in. I don't even know what role you call it at the moment. I don't even. Bruno knows. He looks lost. And you look at that. You look at his post-match interview. He just his confidence and his self-esteem. He's very flat. I don't. Yeah, and I just think the manager could have played him further forward. Playing two left-footed players in that 10 role, Ahmad and Bremo there, it just didn't work in my opinion. Yeah, we almost get to a point where we've actually got too many left-footed players on the field. Almost, you know. Yeah, I just
simply think with Bruno, he's we need to play him forward because he tries to control everyone. You know what I mean? Like, as a captain, you want a captain that can lead and everything like that. And I think he does a pretty good job of doing that. But I think at times he tries to do too much. Instead of focusing on his game and worrying about a player that is standing next to him. You can see players like him, they're always checking their shoulders, so they always know what's around. But as soon as he sees somebody that's not doing what they're supposed to do, his focus goes straight onto that player. And then all of a sudden, his mindset is on his teammate not doing what he's supposed to do. Then all of a sudden, he forgets his role. So if he's playing higher up the pitch, then he can probably guide players behind him a lot easier, I feel. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
It's hard to say. I mean, Bruno in the first 20 of most of our games. Well, I think of every game this year. Like we've looked pretty decent, right? We've looked pretty decent, and I think it's because that space between Bruno and the forward line is probably smaller. We're more compact. We're knocking the ball around a bit more. But then as soon as we start to stretch because we're pushing for a goal or we've conceded a goal, that's when we get down. And all the space between our front three and our midfield, but also our midfield and our back line. And because Bruno's in the centre of that, he's getting picked apart by fans like us that he's lost. But I think, yeah, I don't know. It's a real hard one for me.
I think he's so out of position at the 8. On the ball, I think he's one of the best defensively, and his awareness on tracking and cutting the space for a ball to be cut back. I think that's where he really lacks. And I'm not saying it's his fault. He's not a defensive-minded player at all. He's getting put in a position like you're looking at him to try and track Reinders and Phil Foden, who are running through the lines. That's a pretty hard job to do when you're not a defensive-minded player at all.
Mate,
so I think when he tracks back, he doesn't actually scan the area. His job, when he thinks about running back, he just runs back. But when you're in a defensive transition, your whole idea is to cut angles so the ball can't get between you and the player you're supposed to mark. You don't have to man mark him. You just got to cut the angle. But he's too focused on just either getting back or talking to someone else that he kind of misses that point. And that's where they get the overload.
When you have players running at you that quick as well.
Hey?
When you got players running at you that quick, especially like Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Phil Foden, you don't know whether he's going to hit the angle or he's going to go square and then straight through the line. It's so hard to keep up with. And that's where sometimes that zonal marking just catches you out so badly. And, I'm old school marking man for man, but, we don't even try man for man. We're so busy trying to mark the space and try and check a shoulder that when you're playing teams like City, Arsenal, Liverpool, they're running that good of lines, zonal marking kills you, I reckon, half the time.
I would have liked to have seen Ugarte just sit on Phil Foden the whole game. Just
You know what we need for that? Ander Herrera. Oh,
Yeah.
that would be the dream.
He's probably
So-
the last player that actually did that, Yoni.
Yeah, that's why I was
Player
thinking
that
it.
we've had at United that actually followed players and
Yeah,
was
just
given permission to do that.
his role in that game should have been stick with Phil Foden, or if Phil Foden was playing on the wing, whoever the 10 was, it was Phil during the game, and just stick with him. Wherever he goes, you go. But then you leave Bruno isolated with someone like Reinders, who is all legs, and Bruno doesn't have the legs. Because Rodri doesn't push forward at all. He just sits in front and dictates the play. And
Especially at the moment because he's still
Yeah.
recovering. Yeah.
But the like even Ruben Diaz, like they just make it look so easy. They're also composed on the ball. Nothing's like they don't stress out when the ball's at their feet. Where I feel like every time our back three get the ball, you're thinking, "Fuck, get rid of it, move it up the field." You know what I mean? Like you feel kind of like
I feel like that.
yeah. I feel like we take too long. Our options aren't in front of us quick enough. Like as soon as Ruben Diaz got the ball, everything about City is all triangles, right? And there's a triangle everywhere you look around the ball. So you can go forward, you can go sideways, you can go back.
The players
So
are
when we do get
consistently
the ball-
moving for City, aren't they?
Yes.
They're consistently moving. How many
Yeah.
times do our centre halves get the ball and they're looking for an option? Luke Shaw did it probably on numerous occasions in that game. He received the ball and went from De Ligt to Luke Shaw. Then he's looking up for a player. Now, unless Casemiro comes back and receives that ball, even though he was on the bench, it's very hard to find another player, bar Mainu, that will come back and receive the ball.
Yeah, and you could tell that they didn't really want to pass to Ugarte. Like that's a thing. So
I think the only time we actually looked dangerous in this system is when we switch the ball quickly because we get the overload on the left or right hand side on an early switch or in transition. I think when you play two in the midfield, you can't keep the ball and look dangerous because there's not enough pockets of space you're picking up in between the lines because you're
It's
too
an
tense.
easy system to defend as well.
Hey,
You play our system that we play. It's easy to defend.
it is. The only time we
It's
actually look
easy
good
to
on the
prepare
ball is
and
when
defend
maybe-
against.
Yeah. I feel like we need more pace down the wings too, especially on the right-hand side with Mazraoui yesterday. I felt like that wasn't even really a threat. And I know it probably wasn't meant to be a threat. It was probably as a defensive choice with Dogu pushing forward a lot. But, man, his final delivery was, I'm sorry to swear again, but fucking shit.
Yeah, it
I don't
wasn't
think
very
he's
good.
been
Was it?
good at delivering at all, has he?
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah,
this
look,
his
he's
first
got
game
okay
back?
pre-season and leading up.
I've got a stat for you on that, right? So crosses and set pieces. There was 18 balls into the box. 15 of them went straight to City players.
Yeah.
18 balls.
And I
into
wonder
the
how
box.
many of those. I wonder how many of those Dorgan crossed. Like,
Well, Mbeumo wasn't putting in crosses when he was out on the right-hand side.
Did you find that weird where you've got a 6'5" striker who can leap and no one wants to dink it into him? I know we probably tried a couple times and they didn't even beat the first defender, but it's like, and Burmo had a couple of chances where I'm like, cut it back and just whip it in between the centre back and the keeper. Just make him play at it. And I felt like we've got this massive presence in the box. I don't think he had one chance to go out for a header.
I think they probably also had a bit of a worry. Like, I agree, they should do that. But then they knew Donnarumma was probably going to be there, and Donnarumma is also a huge mountain of a man, and he will come in.
Yeah. And they're still probably trying to figure out Sesko's strengths and stuff like that. You know, it's the first game he started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
Sesko had
I think
20
from-
touches. He did. 20 touches he had.
Look, I was
That's like more than
None in
than
City's
Champions
box,
last
man. None.
I'm not sure about you fellas. Like I liked what I saw from Sesko. It's probably not what I wanted to see from my striker, but I liked what I saw from him. There was some nice little link-up plays, to open up, I guess, our attack a bit, and there was, which was good. I guess obviously you want to see him in the box, and he didn't really touch the ball box, but there was some good link-up play there, which was promising.
If I wanted link-up play, I'd play Joshua Xerxes, though. Just saying.
The thing that I like about Sesko is in the first half we had 4 balls where we went long, and he won all 4 headers against Ruben Diaz. And I thought it was the first time in probably since we had Lukaku or Zlatan up front where you thought we could win the first ball and pounce on the second ball.
Yeah,
which is
that was really good when we had Lukaku with like Martial, Rashford.
It gives you an option when you got pace and a big striker, because it's like Haaland. How much did freaking all their wingers just prey off him? Like a little flick on, it's all it takes. You can get him behind like that.
Haaland just elbows you out of the way and takes it anyway.
Yeah, he's a monster. I fucking hate him.
He's the swear jar strong today, mate.
Oh, mate. Tell me the fine.
Yeah, I hate him as much as you do, but my God, that's one of the best games I've seen Haaland play for a while. Like he just goes to the occasion, like defensive contributions. And you talk about Sesko's link up play and stuff. Haaland's linking up similarly. Yes, he'll run at your players, but he's done that link up play, then he's hitting the box, and he's looking for that third ball into him to get I guess a chance on goal. So I'd also think if he doesn't play like he played this morning, I do think he won City the game this morning. Like, yes, he scored 2 goals, but I think the other work that he's done beside that, I think if he's not playing, it's a different result. Frustratingly, yeah, he just and that's the frustrating thing. And that's the thing that hurts you with City. You feel optimistic going to a derby. I was certainly feeling really optimistic about the game and getting a result. And because you sort of not got going yet this year, and you go out and you get that. For fuck's sake.
I'm not the only one swearing, thank God.
We're just waiting on Adam now to swear, and then it's the entire.
No, mate, I've had plenty of time to think about it today. I'm quite acceptable with the result, to be honest with you. It's the second half's probably the part that done my head in. I actually thought we were okay, and at 1-0, I still thought at halftime we were good. I didn't think we'll get they'll smashing us. I didn't think, yes, the goal was annoying. We probably could have made a tackle or a foul around that box.
It was also a little bit lucky on their behalf because, that ricochet.
The ball ricocheted back to him, yes, and everything like that. But the second half just came out. It was just like, as soon as we copped the second goal, it was again the heads dropped. Yeah, and I just thought, I get frustrated with that sub where Maguire comes on. I just hate it.
I noticed the English media.
Pick your back 5, leave it. You shouldn't have to bring another centre half on. It's still my head in.
So I actually agreed with Ammon's change for once with that back line, because I think, and I talked about Euro before, he was getting battered by Dorku. He was getting absolutely battered. And then when you see, the annoying thing is, Maguire comes on, he makes his mistake for the third goal, which is the frustrating part. But if you look at De Ligt on the right with Doku, sorry, he's up his ass, man, and actually physically battling him off the ball. And he's done probably a better job than what Euro did the whole game. So yes, I agree.
Do you think City switched off once they got the third goal?
Maybe.
100% they did. Yeah, they always do it to us. They play with us. As soon as they get their second and third goal, they switch off. Every single time we've played them in those games where they've beaten us, you could tell, mate, they just switch off, they turn ball over, everything like that, but they can still defend it out because our penetration isn't the same as theirs. Our penetration is so poor through the middle of the park. It's
I noticed
Stay
that the English media actually also now started bringing up the fact that he always makes a defensive substitution, and they're like, "Why do you do it? Why do you do it?" But although I have to say, he has 10 outfield players. 5 of them are defensive players because you have the back 5. So you're always going to end up having a sub in that situation, I feel, like whether it's a center back or it's going to be a wing back or something like that. So that is, I guess, the nature of having such a big, 5 players being the defensive part of it.
Yeah, that's fair. But I feel like the wing back should be swapping if you're gonna. I don't know. I feel like in a 3-4-3, it's just people say the system can't work, but it can work because Conte won the league doing that. But he also had
But
a
it's only
Conte
one time it's been one like that in 30 years. That's actually, another thing. Like, it's only one time that a 3-4-3 has won the league.
But if you have the correct players for the system, it works. You have the big
We need a
striker
Victor Moses. We need Victor Moses.
But
and
but
Conte.
with Conte's system,
Yeah, we need a Conte. We need 2 Contes,
flexible.
and then maybe we'd be all right.
Was Conte's system flexible though?
No.
Not at all.
No.
It still isn't. No, it still plays the same system.
When he made subs, was it flexible?
No.
Again, did he change
No, it was like-
his
like for like.
formation when he made subs?
He's always 3-4-3. Like, legit, always 3-4-3. He changed the players, but there would be like, maybe not like for like in regards to like,
They're pretty similar, but
yeah.
if you bring Pedro on for Willian, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be subs like that where it'd be like, there'd
But
be.
he's also like his team was just really like
Well drilled.
Yeah, and again, you have N'Golo Kante. Like the guy's like one of the best midfielders of all time, if you ask me, when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So
That's what I think you miss when you play. I know we always crack on about the needing another midfielder, but if you had someone like N'Golo Kante, it almost makes you have a back 4 and a middle 3.
I was I don't remember who I was watching, but somebody said that you really need like 2 world-class midfielders that in regards to like only 2 players can probably even do what we need, which is like Caicedo and Rodri. Like, they're the only 2 players that can probably do what we need for our system, and we're not going to get
Valverde from Madrid.
Yeah.
If you can get him, but
I'm just going to bring up Ruben's games and averages.
What do you do? I don't want to say that.
Yeah. Adam, why do you hurt us like this?
I just think it's an interesting talk. I don't think this is going to govern Manchester United's season, this result, right? And I'm one for Ruben being in. So I'm not trying to but his stats are so bad. Like and it's only the media that's probably going to hammer him at this stage.
Ruben, hammer him. Never mind.
Eh?
That was terrible.
That was so bad.
Thanks for making me laugh, Yodino.
I'm sorry.
Like, you feel sorry. You feel sorry for him, but like he's not. Like, and I guess the press were flogging him again today based on this sort of stuff, and I guess his system and his philosophy and all this sort of stuff. I think this game, it's a derby, so I think, and it's at the Etihad, but the next 3 or 4 games might, what happens in the next 3 or 4 games, could be. We've got Chelsea and Chelsea at home, Brentford away, and then I think it's.
You know what's the worst thing that can happen? Garnacho is going to score a goal against us.
Leave it out. Leave it out.
Wash him out there.
Yeah, this is see in the old days, what they would do is pull up every quote that Garnacho's come out with and just put it up in the dressing room. Surely Dorgu, he's come out and he wants to hit him. So hopefully, mate, there's something on there. Like, feed off that little prick. Seriously.
The
Like,
one thing
there's
I'll
gotta
say
be
about
something there.
Amram is if we're still in the 12th or lower come nearly going into Christmas, that's going to be worrying for him and his position.
But the thing is, we don't have
next break for international.
easy games until like 7 games from now. You know, like the next run of 7 games is just like ridiculous, which is like 2 months almost.
Yeah, Chelsea, Brentford away, Sunderland, international break, Liverpool straight after the international break. Like we could be sitting down the barrel of 16th, 15th place if we don't pick up a couple of wins.
Sunderland are firing at the moment too. They're actually playing very, very, very well.
Yeah, I mean they're probably more organised in midfield than we are.
Yeah,
these are the player ratings. Let me know.
You forgot to mention though that after Liverpool, we also have Brighton, Nottingham Forest, and Spurs. Like it doesn't get any easier.
No game's easy in the Premier League. No game's easy.
I don't know if you play Man United.
Well, this is the whole thing, isn't it? Like all these media guys are coming out saying to Ruben all the time that every manager's coming out now, or every player that does an interview after the game after they've played United. We all know how to play Manchester United. It's an easy way of playing. Their midfield lacks, everything like that. And the man still refuses to change. So what do you do? Like, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for sticking to his system. But at the end of the day, if he gets the flick, he's only got himself to blame, really, hasn't he?
He's standing by that as well. Like you saw his post-match where he was like, well, I'm only going to change when I want to change. So if you want to change now, just change the manager. I was like,
he's almost too honest sometimes the way he talks.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, like, I really like the way he does talk and the way he defends his players a lot, which I really like from a manager. Like he wears wears everything on his sleeve and he jumps in front of everyone. But I think sometimes he just says that one line too far in his conferences where it just goes, it almost makes you think he doesn't even have confidence in it. Like to sit there and say, I'll change the manager if you don't think it's going to work. Like sit there and say, no, it's going to work. It's going to take time, but it's going to work. Do you know what I mean? Like he's too honest.
I just want to let George know that I really do hope it's going to be Baleba at some point. But it'll be interesting when we play against Brighton, because Baleba hasn't been that good this season yet. He
hasn't at all.
Yeah,
but I think come the end of the season, I think there'll be more than us knocking on the door for him. I think,
but there might also be like other
him.
Midfielders that we might be ready like to go for as well, because it's not like Baleba's the only one we have to go for, but he's Premier League proven, which is why everyone says that. But so is Wharton. No, I don't think we'll get Wharton.
I like Adam Wharton a lot.
I was very anti Adam Wharton for a long time, without never watching him play a game. But it was just because everyone was saying him or Kobe Mainu for the Euros, and I was like, it's obviously Kobe. So
it has to be.
I mean,
he has to start now. I
go
think
back
that 20 minutes ago, he has to start.
He even you can tell by his body language that he's not happy, but he still came on and played okay again. Like little pockets of play, those little like tip tap around players and finding good passes and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't know why the manager's not playing him, and he's not telling us why he's not playing him.
Yeah, people are assuming something's there, because at this point it is a bit. Although I don't know, his post-match, he was I don't know, or pre-match was it when he kept on being asked about me?
Yeah.
I just don't think he wants to play. I think he sees Bruno as the same position, which is just they're not.
No.
I don't know if he sees something else in training. Maybe Kobe's not actually training well. He doesn't want to say it out loud. He's not going to be someone to throw another player under the bus for training poorly. We don't know. but I don't see him having an attitude like that when you see him with his family and stuff after the FA Cup final when they won it and all those things, and you see him coming from a real humble background, and he's world class when he's on. He's so composed for his age.
I've got another one for you here, boys. If you have a look at the stats and everything like that, everything was so. Look, I know stats don't clear up a game for you. Viewing does and everything like that. But you have a look at the offsides, everything like that. I know these are just the standard ones, but they're all pretty tight. Even total passes. We had some good chances on goal. And we did get him behind a fair bit. It's just a matter of taking those chances. I think I saw a stat this week on us creating chances. I think we're still up there with the best teams creating chances.
We're at the top.
We were the top, yeah, and we had the top XG as well or something, but it means nothing if you don't score.
Their top goal scorers own goals at the moment. It is. I'm not even joking.
Thanks, Jordan.
Mate, Jordan, you got to look a little bit more lively, mate. Seriously.
But Adam, what we were saying before, though, is most of those shots actually came once we were down 2-0 or 3-0. So
that's right, yeah.
That tells the story there. The one thing that's actually quite interesting is that we had more possession than City in Etihad, which I never would have thought ever that would be a thing. So
I wonder who was the last team to do that. I don't even think that was City dominate the ball.
Yeah.
I do think City are playing a little bit different now without KDB. They seem to be a lot happier to counter attack than what they were last season.
KDB would open that, he'd have that pass that just breaks everything. While now they're kind of more like they have Reinders who just runs through. Or
he's a runner,
Dogu as well. So
we actually had a pretty decent chance to go 1-1 when Šeško went through, and his bad first touch took it just that too far.
It was not a handball. Are we talking about that one?
Yeah, but I don't know if it would have been a handball if he scored.
It was. Yeah,
it
wouldn't have called it a
definitely
handball.
wasn't a handball.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think it was handball.
That's one of those things where it's like, what if he takes a better first touch and then does what Haaland does and just slams at the back of the net? Well, 1-1. I know it's what ifs, but they're the type of things where Haaland gets through, he just scores.
What if Bruno scores the penalty a few weeks ago?
Look, I think moving forward to Chelsea game, how do you think? Look, we'll wind it up on this. So we face Chelsea this week. We've got that little shit in Garnacho coming up, and
he should go.
Do you think he needs to make some changes there? Does Ugarte go back to the bench?
Yeah.
Casemiro comes back in. What else? You wouldn't change. Hopefully,
Cunha should be back. I think.
Sorry, mate.
Cunha should be back. I think.
Yeah,
right?
Cunha will be back.
Does that mean Bruno plays in the 8 again?
He's not going to bench Bruno, so
no, but is he going to play?
Bench him. And that's one thing for sure.
I think we might see Martinez on the bench.
Maybe. Although I was having a look at FOTMob and they said that he's only back mid-October, but maybe FOTMob hasn't updated it kind of thing because, we have been hearing that he's in training and this and that, so hopefully.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Cunha and
you just know he would definitely tackle Garnacho, even though they're countrymen. You just know that he would
Yeah.
He's the player who, Martinez is the type of player that is going to put a big tackle in and get the boys fired up. He's got that dog in him, I guess.
He lifts the tempo too.
Argentinian spirit.
I like that.
I think.
Do you know when Martinez is back? I think George has just asked when's Martinez back. I think he could be back, mate. This
Adam's
week,
about 2 minutes behind.
I don't think he'll start.
No, Adam, we're just saying. So, we don't think he'll start, but we're hoping he'll be on the bench.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think. I also think. But I also think we need to. Amorim needs to make a decision on where he wants to play Ahmad, and just keep him there.
Yeah.
Because if we've got Mbeumo, you need to be playing him at that wing back role. You can't play him and Mbeumo in that inverted 10. I would rather, and if he wants to, if he's still going to play Bruno in the 8 and Cunha's still not fit, I would rather start Xerxes there with Mbeumo than play Ahmad in there with Mbeumo, in my opinion. Like, I'm not sure if you boys feel the same way. But, you could tell that Mazraoui was a little bit, it was the worst game I've probably seen him play, Mazraoui, but you could tell he was just a little bit out of the loop, I guess, starting that game.
I'd play Mbeumo and then Ahmad at right wing back, 100%. I'd keep the same. What do you do with the back three? Do you keep Shaw in there, or do you play Delic and Maguire and play Maguire as a centre, you're on the left and Delic on the right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what, boys? We've got a week to think about it. We've got a week to think about this game because it's Champions League all week and we haven't got nothing else. So we might even
Aussie Chewy.
Sorry,
that's my brother. Aussie Chewy, that's my brother. He reckons we should have sold Bruno. What are you saying?
Should have sold Bruno. I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? That one. I'll leave that for another pod.
How much was it for him? Was it 100 million?
Yeah, we did get a decent figure for
Well,
him.
look, then there was never an official offer.
That's right. There was never an official offer. Yeah. So it could be just paper talk again. So
yeah.
100 million.
Yeah. Anyways.
I think we could, the starting 11 he puts out, it's not going to be the one that we want, let's be honest. We talk about it every week before a game. It's not, we can speculate and stuff, but it's never going to be what we would like to see, I guess. But there's certainly some better variations out there.
You know what, boys? Let's call it there. We need some sleep after the result. We need to be fresh for tomorrow for work. Anyone that's been in the chat, we've had Instagram flying today. You boys probably can't see Instagram, but we've had Scotty in there. We've had Mark, Tom. We've had all the boys in there. It's been great. We've had a lot of people on Instagram. In the comments here, we've got George. George is new. I spoke to George today. Aussie Chewy. We just found out it's Elliot's brother, which is good. Johnny was in there with his normal negative comment. Thanks, Johnny. It's always handy. But we might even this week, I know a few of the boys have got some signed cards coming on cards this week, coming into their house maybe in the next couple of days. So we might do maybe a little 15-minute roundup of what cards we've got in over the past week and just put that together, something a little bit more cheerful than what we've been going through. So anyone that's there, please share the pod. Get onto YouTube. I know a lot of you were on Instagram, but if you can flick over to Worldwide Reds and share them from there, because we do, for us to actually live stream on Worldwide Reds, we need over 1,000 followers there, and it's the same on YouTube as well. We're live there now, but we're going through my vintage _ Man United at the moment, just to give everyone a chance to watch. But flick over to Worldwide Reds MUFC and we'll be glad to get you on the pod. Remember, if you want to come on, don't hesitate. Don't be shy. Get on. We love chatting to Worldwide Reds all over the place. So don't be shy. I've got my Nepalese mate. He's just joined us on Instagram. How are you, buddy? He's actually moved to the US to study. So we usually get on his channel live for the Nepalese supporters club. So hopefully we get him on soon. We're sort of chatting at the moment. So, all right, boys, enjoy your dreams. Try not to dream
enjoy your dreams.
A wet one, something like that.
Just dreaming of a win.
Dream of someone bashing Garnacho in the next game. All right, boys. I'll talk to you later. See you later.
Ya.
Check. Yes.